Hey there, Middle-earth strategy battle gamers. So today we are here with a new announcement. So earlier today there was an announcement on the Warhammer community page that there are some new Easterling models coming, and I have the pictures of them up on the um, screen. So basically, I'd like to talk about these real quick and talk about what I think we'll see kind of as a bigger picture, I guess, as you will. So first off, I think these models are awesome looking. I think Easterlings desperately needed some new attention and some new love in terms of profiles. Um, the article kind of goes on and talks about what we can expect from them. So they're going to be basically your average berserker unit with 2 attacks, fight 4, relatively low defense. They're going to have the ability to throw daggers. And then they have some cool rules, basically meaning that they can get bonuses when climbing, jumping, etc. So it's a really cool unit. I think that Easterlings desperately needed something like this. They're very similar to like Corsair Reavers. So I do think, and I've been talking about this for a while, I think supplement-wise, I had a question earlier on Facebook. I asked if these guys are going to be, if people thought these guys were going to be a one-drop release, meaning that they just release these models and a profile to go with them, or is it going to be part of a bigger supplement? And we've talked about it a few times, I think amongst ourselves. I'm not sure if I've ever talked about it on the channel, but I think a War in the North supplement is actually in the works. Meaning, what supplement could we get where Easterlings would show up? They didn't come out at Gondor War. They didn't come out, of course they wouldn't be in Rohan at War. They wouldn't be in several other supplements that have come out. So I think a War in the North is in the play, because I know in the lore that the Easterlings had a pretty big presence, like when they attacked Erebor. So kind of as just a fun little video I'm doing, I'm going to kind of just guess. I'm going to take a little theory. So I think we're going to get a War in the North supplement. I think in terms of good models, we're going to be seeing a Brand profile. He's Bart's grandson. I think we're going to be seeing possibly a profile for old King Dane. In the King Dane profile would be pretty much the same as the Dane that we had before the There and Back Again came out. So basically, he was a watered down Dane, because he's supposed to be a lot older at this timeline. He's like, he was a 331, I believe. And spoilers for anyone who has never read the books, or read this part of the books, I think that Dane and Bran both died, so them being 331s. And this version of Dane too would be completely different in terms of how he would buff your troops and how he would interact with the army. So you'd have the young Hobbit King Dane, who is just a straight up dwarf lord on the boar. That's just completely speculation. I could see them, because in the concept art for the Hobbit movies, there was like the bonus material, there was a little small section talking about the War in the North and how Dane died fighting like Brand, and how he basically was still the badass dwarf that he always was. But in this, if my theory is correct, then you could also expect to see a legendary legion for Erebor and not Lake Town, sorry, for Erebor and Dale. And I think that too they can give, so the Hobbit era stuff, they can add one of the things they can add, like for instance, Dale can get a lot of love. For instance, you can get a Dale model with a banner and stuff in a supplement like this. And then there could be like a thing, because in a lot of other supplements you have an appendices chapter where they have a few profiles from, like, for instance, Helm Hammerhand was in the appendices, or Gulfimble was in the appendices for Scaring of the Shire. So you can have an appendice saying that you can still use Dane, you can still use the Iron Hills captains or whatever, but they got to be taken in this Iron Hills list in the appendices. And then if you want to play the War in the North stuff, then you can be playing the new Dane or whatever. I think they could easily do that. I definitely think that we can use some more Easterling characters. One time we were kind of like talking about what Easterling characters could you get, and one of the ones we came up with, I think there was a Black Dragon Emperor in the lore. I vaguely remember that, and we were talking about what would the Black Dragon Emperor look like, and he could be like a really cool Easterling guy on a huge throne, kind of like Xerxes from 300. And he can have like some fighting capability, but he can really buff your troops. Like if you put him in your army, then your Black Dragons are free upgrades. But then he'd have to be a relatively expensive model or something of that nature. So there are definitely some things they can do to buff Easterlings. There are definitely some things they can do to buff Iron Hills and Dale. Mirkwood and Lothlorien are two other big ones. Lothlorien can definitely use some love in terms of giving Celeborn that horse. And then you could have like a Legendary Legion with, I believe, Celeborn and Thranduil and the Lord teamed up and fought the forces of Mordor off. And you could have a Legendary Legion for that. So there's definitely a lot of stuff they can do. I feel like it'd be a really good supplement for a lot of armies that need a lot of support. For instance, Easterlings being a big one. I do think in the future we'll probably be seeing more on this, but I figured while these models came out and it's pretty fresh, I'd come up with a little theory. Because I don't remember if I ever talked about this, but we were talking about ways you can make Easterlings better, and I said, well, they definitely could use a Reaver Berserker model who has 2 attacks and is fight 4. And honestly, looking at how Easterlings play now, if you take, I know they're probably gonna be lower defense. I'm gonna guess defense 4, but you have these guys, and then you could pike support them. You're talking about 4 fight 4 attacks. That's pretty monstrous. And I don't know if they're gonna have the Golden Horde rule. That's something we'll just have to see. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video a little short, just because this is kind of a little quick video. But hey, put in the comments below what you guys think we're gonna see, and as always, we appreciate the support. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. We'll see you guys in the next video.